we've all heard of Batwing mowers, and I know I had, and every mower that I saw on the side of the road that had the arms that folded down, I thought that was a Batwing mower. Turns out I was completely wrong. Batwing mowers are exclusively woods mowers. You've seen me wearing this sweatshirt for a little while, and now we get a chance to take a look at a woods mower here on the ranch. We're going to be mowing sagebrush with it, and Woods was so nice to send Ryan out here all the way from Dodge City, Kansas.
Yep.
There's a Dodge City, Missouri.
Dodge City, Kansas.
Yep. To come up here and kind of walk us through the Woods Batwing mower. Now, this is a 20-foot mower?
This is our 20-foot medium-duty motor.
Medium duty.
Medium duty.
See, this thing's a beast. I can't imagine how the big one looks.
Yeah, so we actually have a lighter design. It's the 50 series, we call it, 51 now, and then we have one heavier than this, is a 71.
Wow.
Yep.
So we're going to be mowing sagebrush with this thing. Is that kind of a usual use for these, or what if you were going to, what would this be, just a normal everyday walk in the woods for a woods mower?
It can handle a lot.
Yeah.
We have a cutting capacity on this machine of about 4 inches. So if you've got sagebrush that'll grow a stalk that big, we can knock it over.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've got fence posts that big.
It's probably been known to happen, but probably not recommended.
No, I don't want to be picking barbed wire out of that thing, that's for sure. We're going to walk you guys through some of the features of the Batwing mower. Now, coming up in upcoming videos, we're going to get this thing out and we're going to mow down sagebrush. Our big thing with sagebrush when we mow it down is we want to do it while the sagebrush is dormant, so it's not coming back. That means we have to do it when it's pretty cold, but we don't have that much snow. So that'll be coming up here in about a week or so. And then the other thing is that we're going to be making some new hay fields. So that's going to be where this thing really does come in handy, and 20-foot cutting is going to be all the world of difference. We've got an 8-foot mower that I think would take us all day long, where this thing is going to really help us out. So Ryan, what is what's the big feature? What's the big selling feature? If you got somebody that comes in and is looking at one of these mowers, what's the first thing you tell them that makes the Woods different? The
best thing about the Woods product is the durability of the machine. You know, we had 3 Woods brothers start this company in 1946. In fact, the 3 round tops they started operations out of are still in our factory today. You can see the roof line from inside the building.
Wow. So they built right over the top of them?
Yeah, they incorporated into the building and everything. It's not too far out the engineering door.
Yeah, no doubt, I bet.
It's a cool feature of our heritage. That's what Woods has always been known for. Along the way, we figured out different ways to make the product better. Baffling to make the cut quality good. The way we swing our blades, you know, the quick change blade pins, the easy change blade pins, excuse me, that make it easy to change the blades, so you're not spending all day long servicing this thing trying to get it to go.
That makes sense.
In the tractor seat.
Yeah, I mean, if you've ever worked around farmers or ranchers, first of all, number one, we know how to break stuff. Yep. That happens really fast. If something's going to break, it's going to break pretty darn quick. But also, when you are down, you don't want to be down forever. And so being able to do things fast and easy, especially if you have to change blades or even just pull blades off and sharpen them or something, or even greasing, can make all the difference in the world. Yeah,
so we actually have a unique easy change blade pin system that allows you to get in there, change the blade out fairly quickly. You don't need a torch, you don't need a big sledgehammer to beat the pins out. Most of the time they'll come out in your hand.
Well, let's take a look at that and see how it works. So this machine has 2 blades. You were explaining to me earlier that you can actually have 4 blades on this pan. The more blades you have, the better cutting ability that you've got?
So in this design, we actually added 2 more blades on these pans. What we were trying to do is mimic what a flail shredder would do in corn stalks. So we wanted that real fine cut. We wanted to spread the material out evenly and get it chopped up as much as we could. Through testing, we found that we can actually put an extra set of blades on there and get twice the cut through the machine, making it smaller. It'll almost do the job, especially in corn stalks, of a flail mower, but not quite.
So, right, and so you're almost getting like a mulching action as it keeps on cutting while it's down in here.
A little bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. So these are the blades. They're sharp, but they're not super sharp. Is there a reason they're not, you know, razor sharp on these kind of machines?
Well, you know, honestly, these act like a club as they go around. In fact, when you're dealing with larger brush, small trees, things like that, we want the momentum to jerk through and they'll pivot. So if they do hit something, they'll at least pull back. But it's the momentum of the swing that actually knocks it out. We do have a sharper edge on ours. It's a hardened blade that'll last, and it won't need sharpened near as often. but that sharp edge will also give it a nice cut when you're dealing with, you know, pasture mowing. You know, you want your you know, your rough ground to look nice.
Right, exactly. So how often would you have to change blades in a normal operation?
And that all depends on what you're sticking through it.
True. Yeah.
You know, if
Those
you're going
fence
to go up
posts
there,
that are gonna,
oh
yeah.
yeah. Somebody hits a culvert, guess what?
Yeah.
It's immediately. But you know, a lot of these machines put a lot of hours on them before the blades actually need to be changed. And you'll notice signs. You'll notice like the wings on the back will start to wear down. This area will wear into the blade some more. And when you're cutting the finer material, you'll notice that it doesn't quite do as good of a job as it would if it had the sharper edge on it. You know, just like your lawnmower does in your lawn.
That makes sense.
Yep.
All right, so let's take this blade off and we'll see how easy it is.
So what we've got here is we've got our blade pin design. This is our easy change. It takes a 3/4 end wrench. We've got a bolt that holds a clip in here. We'll loosen that.
Try not to drop anything.
We'll take we'll take the clip out. This is the clip that holds it in place. We've got a lock on this. This actually has a big hole that slides over the sleeve.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then we have a spacer on here that holds the bolt in place. And then we are shimming these blades so we get the right amount of travel here at the end of our blade. And that's kind of important in some of these. But with that done, now I can take this blade and I've got it right there.
Very cool.
One of the cool features we added to this easy change design was a grease zerk inside the housing of the pin. You can see the grease hole where it greases through the pan. It also kind of helps prevent that from locking up in there. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can imagine, you know, probably the number one important thing is this: you don't want the blade to come off while you're operating the machine.
Absolutely.
So that's why all the locks and the secondary safeties on there.
Safety first.
Yeah, no doubt. Very cool. What else you got to tell us about it?
So this design of these blades, we can actually access the center section of the machine through the access hole and change the blades from the top of the deck instead of the bottom, eliminating a crushing hazard or anything like that. So it is all for safety.
This is the access hatch that Ryan was talking about. It's just that simple door right there, and you just slide the new blade in and pop it on.
You'll push the new blade in there and then put the pin in and bring it right up into the pan, and the weight of the blade will hold itself in there to where you can use your other hand to put the clips and stuff like that on.
Very cool. Very cool. So before we get into all the technical and how this whole thing works, let's go ahead and hook it up. Okay. And we can show how it folds down and how it stands up and get ready to get to work. And then we'll talk about, we'll start at the front and work our way back.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Oh, roll forward a little bit.
Okay, on this one we've got 3 different hydraulic hookups, one for each wing and then one for
this raise up and down.
Up and down.
Yep.
So.
And then we've got your up and down there.
Yep.
Cool.
On goes our PTO, which is always the fun part. Actually, this is a 1,000 RPM PTO, which is a lot easier than a 540. You don't have to have it spun in the right direction, but that's pretty much it, just right there, right?
Yeah, so we've got the auto lock on the front of these shafts, and we'll slide it forward. It'll hit that detent and it'll lock in place. So.
Nice. There it goes.
A little wiggle, it's on.
Yep, that's it. So nice. Let's see if we got the hydraulics right.
Yeah. That'd be the first.
And that's all there is to it. I mean, it's ready to go, ready to mow right now, wouldn't it be? If I kicked on the PTO, we'd be off and rolling. These tires, I got to tell you, tell me about these tires, because these aren't normal, everyday, off-the-shelf tires.
No, so these are used aircraft tires. They're foam filled. They've got these are the 29-inch ones. They've got a little more rubber in the place where you need it for your suspension and stuff. But you know, these are actually 25-ply tires, so they're real heavy.
They are heavy. I had to move one around. They are very heavy. Do you know what kind of airplane these come off of?
I have no idea.
That'd be interesting to know.
Yeah.
So when we start, when we're looking at this thing all jacked up like this, you obviously have a wide range of where you can cut, and even if you're cutting something really tough, you could start high and kind of work your way down as you move through. What is our cut range?
So this machine here, we can cut anything from 2 inches all the way up to 15, and then we've got some extra height here to actually raise this thing up over obstacles if you run across, you know, something in the field you want to go over the top of. Is kind of the range where we're at.
Very cool. And if you do have to, it's got locks and safety mechanisms, of course, so that if you do have to get out, you know, get something out from underneath it, you can lock everything that you don't end up getting hurt.
Yeah, so the wing cylinders will have their own locks on them, and then we have a lock on that center section so we can actually lock it up, you know, to prevent any kind of falling, crushing, or anything like that.
Very cool. So one thing I like about the whole machine is it's actually a pretty clean machine. There's not a whole lot sticking up. It's pretty clean.
Yeah, we actually try to eliminate as much as we can from the top of the deck. So we do have a true dome debris shedding deck. So it's real easy to broom off the material, you know, take an air blower, just knock off what accumulates there while you're mowing.
Or if you're in Wyoming, you've got wind to do that for you too.
Yeah.
Nothing getting caught up though. Yeah, self-cleaning. Yeah. Let's talk about the gearboxes here really quick, because these things, you know, they're pretty hefty.
Yeah, so these are one of our largest gearboxes we offer today. This is a 275 horsepower box. There's some really unique designs in our boxes. One, we're using a tapered roller bearing in the bottom. We've got dipsticks in the top. And we've got this unique channel on the bottom of our gearboxes that allows us to keep oil at that bottom bearing where it's needed the most. You can kind of see that channel right through here. So what these tapered roller bearings, what happens when you kick these on, it pumps all the oil to the top of the box. What we want to do is keep as much oil as we can in that bottom bearing. We keep that bearing cool, and you know, it just increases the life of that bearing. We also use a real thick mud seal in the bottom. So with this design, we actually put a 6-year gearbox warranty on there that includes that seal for the life of the warranty. So
with a machine like this is a 20-footer, it's the medium duty machine. What kind of tractor do you need to run these? I mean, obviously you've got a wide variety that can probably, pretty much any tractor can run all the way down to the bottom, but what about this size? What are we looking at?
So it takes a minimum of 65 horsepower to operate this machine. Okay. A little bigger isn't going to hurt anything, but really anywhere from 65 to 300 horsepower tractor, this machine will fit its needs in there.
And what's the smallest machine that you guys make?
Width-wise or horsepower-wise?
Both, how about?
Okay, so
I'll test you here.
We actually, I mean, we can go all the way down to like a 4-foot, 48-inch cutter to put on subcompacts. You know, we move up to a machine like this. We actually have the 2071, which will go up to 300 horsepower. So anywhere in between there, you know, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. You know, we offer these in half wings, half bats is what we call them. So we kind of have a machine for about everyone's needs, depending on what they're trying to mow, and then the horsepower of their tractors.
Very cool. And this is the 60-year anniversary this year of Woods.
That's right. Well, it's actually the 60th year of the Batwing.
Oh, okay, okay.
So 60 years ago in 1963, we designed a Batwing and put it into market. So the company itself, 1946, they were the first, the Woods brothers were the first ones to mount a belly mower on those old style tractors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Yep. So they started out with the mower and they just kept on going with it.
We're still this is This is our bread and butter.
Very cool. So it doesn't matter what size mower you need, Woods Equipment is going to have it for you and ready to get you hooked up. And how's the easiest way to find out anything about Woods?
Actually, you know, we're online. You know, www.woodsequipment.com. We have a lot of dealers across the U.S. that support our product well. And if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, we have an 800 number.
Wow.
1-800-619-6637, and you'll be in touch with somebody right away.
Very cool. All right. Well, we're looking forward to using this thing, cutting down some sagebrush. Is there any tips you can give me on cutting sagebrush?
No, some of the things I would look for is when this machine's mowing, you want a little bit of a forward edge into this. So you want the front of the blade to contact your material. Okay. And that's the only part. That way it cuts it off in the first pass and it slings it around in the back in the rest. If you get that any other direction, you're robbing horsepower from your tractor, you're using more fuel. Actually, you want it fairly level if you're going to machine, but if you want to lay a level on it, you want like a half bubble forward, maybe a half-inch nose down on the front. Very cool.
Ryan, thank you very much for coming up and giving us a hand with this thing. I'm looking forward to using it. Obviously, the tips with the sagebrush helps out a lot because I've never really cut sagebrush with one of these before, and I want to make sure that obviously you're doing it the most efficient way, fuel-wise, time-wise, and everything. And having 20 feet to cut with is going to cut down a huge amount of time and sagebrush. So thank you very much for coming up and showing us how it works, and hopefully we do you proud.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Enjoy it. Appreciate it.